Hi there guys, it's Anthony here. Just took some footage today of my pull workout. Obviously pull workout, so we've got back, wee bit of biceps as well, wee bit of traps today. At the moment I'm training rear delts on a different day. We'll cover that in another video, my current training split, which is altered from the usual legs push pull that I would normally follow. So here we're kicking off today's back workout with some bent over rows. You'll notice also that I'm using straps in this video for a lot of the back exercises. That's not a standard thing. I usually prefer to do these exercises without straps, but I'm doing them with straps at the moment to alleviate, well, to attempt to alleviate anyway, some issues with golfer's elbow in my right kind of forearm tendon. That's been causing me some issues with my pulling movements, but using the strap seems to be helping quite a bit. It tends to be when I'm gripping the bar that I'm noticing pain and all that. So things are looking up there. I've altered some things, this, that and the next thing, and you'll see in some of the other videos as well. So as I say, kicking off this back workout with some bent over rows. Fantastic compound exercise for your back, really working on the thickness here of your back and width as well, but more so for the thickness with the bent over row. So you'll see bending over, hinging at the waist at about 90 degrees and really trying not to sway too much. You see a lot of people in the gym doing these horribly, absolutely murdering the form on these and swaying, using far too much weight in ego lifting. I really try not to do that in my own training. You'll see it, for the most part, it's kept pretty strict. Pulling with the elbows into the abdomen and really trying to squeeze it back. I often do this particular exercise, if any eagle-eyed viewers out there, you'll probably notice me do it with my eyes closed, and that's really just trying to force the mind into the muscle, as they say. Obviously it's a compound exercise. I am going to feel it in my biceps a little bit, but just by closing my eyes I can just really feel the contraction and the stretch in my back while I do that. So it was 4 sets of 10 reps today on the bent over row with 95 kilograms. So 10 reps is kind of as high as I'll normally go on my movements. So we'll up the weight next week just by perhaps 2.5 kilos, so up to 97.5, and we'll probably go back down to sets of 8. That's kind of how I like to progress as well. It's starting with lifting within a certain rep range. Once I reach the top end of that rep range for a certain number of sets, the weight goes up, reps go back down, and the process starts all over again. So you'll see as well, I'm standing on a little block there, and that's really just to emphasise the stretch at the bottom of the movement as well, because relatively short arms, and it helps keep the weight off the ground at the bottom of the movement. So that was the bent over rows. We're now moving on to wide grip pull-ups, which are probably my favourite back exercise. Now I normally kick off back workouts with this movement, but today just I felt like starting with the heavier bent over rows and then going into these wide grip pull-ups here, which are typically used as a width building exercise, especially in the upper lats. Again, you'll notice the straps there. Don't usually use straps in this exercise, but needs must at the moment, unfortunately. So usually, as I say, usually start the workout with weighted pull-ups, but you'll see here that I'm not using any weight because my back's already a little bit tired from the bent over rows that we've just done. Making sure to go right down at the bottom, full stretch, and again full contraction at the top with this exercise. So as you can see, and you'll have seen between sets of bent over rows as well, I find it a great benefit to be stretching my back in between just about every set of the workout here. I only miss out the stretches if I forget to do it. If I'm conscious about it, I will always stretch my lats in between each set. That's an old Arnold tip there. I don't follow everything that Arnold says, but that certainly has helped me with my back work. Really, again, with that mind muscle connection, and again, usually I don't put too much score into that, but certainly with back training I do, very much so. Okay, so we're moving on here to the, I guess we call it a T-bar row. It's not really a T-bar row. We're just using the close attachment, the close grip attachment, excuse me, that you'd normally find on a cable station. Again, standing on a little platform, just for the extra squeeze, extra stretch and squeezing at the top here. Back workouts tend to be wide grip vertical pull, close grip vertical pull, wide grip row and a close grip row. Orders and exercises will change, but that tends to be the general rule for me. I just like that, and it's given me the best results for my back, I feel. I feel like that kind of hits each area of the back thoroughly and gives me everything I need, really. So again, these were done, the T-bar rows were done for 3 sets of 10 repetitions, I believe. And moving on here to close grip pull-ups, which kind of concluded the back work of this pull session. Again, did these unweighted. By this point especially, starting to tire in the back and the biceps as well, starting to tire by this point. But that was it for the back work today. Set of 9 and 2 sets of 8 it was for the close grip pull-ups. Moving on here to some dumbbell shrugs, specifically for the traps at the top of the back and shoulders. This exercise is one that I pretty much neglected for years. I did not like the look of the massive trap. I still don't like the look of massive traps, and that's kind of something that I copied from Steve Reeves. I suppose he also didn't train his traps at all. He says that for a bodybuilder it just detracted from shoulder width, but opinions change over time and stuff like that, so I'm just putting in 3 sets of shrugs each pull day, just seeing what happens, seeing what kind of development we can get. I find that by doing deadlifts, which I usually place on my leg day, I get a decent amount of trap stimulation, and lateral raises, overhead presses and things like that with shoulders, and the rest of the back work as well. I've always felt traps were never necessarily neglected, but we'll just try to give them a wee bit isolation work here, see how it goes. Now, with this exercise, it's important to remember not to use too much weight. Again, you see people using ridiculous amounts of weight. I try to bring it up, get a really good squeeze at the top, really good contraction in the trapezius muscle, and then back down. None of this kind of bobbing your head back and forth that you see people doing quite often. Yeah, less said about that the better. So it's just a warm-up set here. This was the last exercise in the workout today, was the easy bar preacher bench curl. This was done for 3 sets of 8 repetitions. Again, with the golfer's elbow issue that I've been suffering with, the kind of tendon inflammation, I've been struggling with bicep work. I don't usually use an easy bar. I usually use a straight bar for most barbell curl movements. But the easy bar seems to be really helping me with this issue that I've been going through. And so just one bicep exercise this workout. I'll cover my current training split at the moment because arms are actually a priority. You wouldn't think so with this pull workout, but they are. And the current split is a pull, push, legs and an arm day, just to really focus on bringing my arms up. I would normally scoff at having an arm day, and have done for years. Legs push pull has been tried and true for me, and it's been great, but arms are always tacked on at the end of these workouts, and it does compromise the amount of weight that you can lift in these movements. And weight is one of the keys to progression. Progressing weight, reps, sets, whatever. Weight is one of those things that if you can progress, you're going to be making physical progress as well. So with this exercise, again, it's important not to load on too much weight, more weight that you can handle, and it's important to, again, as with most exercises in bodybuilding, stretch and squeeze. So yep, that exercise concluded this pull workout. That was, I think, 20 sets in total, back, traps and biceps. As I say, rear delts are currently being worked on the specific arm day, and I'm doing 2 rear delt exercises that day. So guys, thanks very much for watching this video. Next video I think we'll go over my current training split that I'm using a little more in depth. As I say, we've kind of covered it here a little bit, but next video we'll get into the nitty gritty of that, and we shall also be covering my current diet, being at the start of week 2 of my current mini cut. See you later guys. And I have been personally involved in training and bodybuilding for about 8 years now. I think I started when I was about 15. It's one of my main passions in life. I love it, I love it. And at the moment, as it stands right now, I'm just preparing to cut for the first time in 2 years.